All right. All right. Devilery. In the house. We're going to discuss some legal stuff today. We're going to talk about marriage and, is it really a union with God? What's really going on with the marriage? And talk about how to really make it be what you want it to be. Kia, what's going on? I pronounced that right. But hey, Sister Cortez, what's going on, brother? Brian, Funky Spin. So this is Devilery. We're going to go into this. What is this marriage thing? What is it? Is this a union with God? Now, I don't know. What time is it there? Let me know if you can hear me okay, please. I just want to make sure you all can hear me and everything is good with the sound, the volume before I get started. This is Erykah Badu, Bag Lady. I'm going to let Erykah sing. Great subject, marriage. Well, now, and I'm not really going into relationships because I don't really talk about that. But what I do want to talk about is the legal side of marriage. What is it really? What's really going on? Can you all hear me okay? Am I saying that right, Kia? Or Quay? Let me know if you all can hear me okay. Eugenia, how you doing? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, vos. That's my little bit of Spanish that I know. But yeah, we're going to talk about this marriage subject and what is it really, what's really going on with this whole thing. Choir, can you hear me okay, sis? Let me know if you all can hear me okay. So again, I'm just waiting on people to come on in here. We're going to talk about, thank you, sis. We're going to talk about marriage. What is it really from a legal standpoint? What is it that this thing that you've gotten yourself into? Let's understand why you have to pay to get out of it if you want to get out of it. So that's what we're going to be discussing. We're going to talk about the legal side of this thing. And I want to discuss some things that you are doing that you're really not aware of. How you doing, RL? So we want to discuss what are you doing that you're really not aware of when you are signing these documents, when you're quote unquote married, getting married, when you're standing in front of this preacher in this church. What is really going on? As I let Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. All right, so we're going to bring this down. And we're going to get started on this thing and understand what is marriage. What is it? All right, so now I'm pulling up my notes. How you doing, Monica? Angelo, what's going on? The question is your marriage truly a union with God? Is it? Probably not. So let's understand what that means. So first of all, when you're having when you're getting married, let's understand what's happening here. When you go to a preacher, what we're not understanding is we're thinking this is a man of God, this is a man of cloth, but we're not paying attention to even what he is saying and who he is. Because once he says these words, he utters these words, by the power vested in me, by the state of such and such, I now pronounce you man and wife. Now, you ought to know by then, wait a minute, what? The power vested in you by what state? What you're not understanding, and what a lot of us are not understanding, is that he works for the state. All preachers and ordained ministers, how you doing, Celeste, and all of that, they work for the state. And so what's happening is when you get married, you're given a certificate, or you sign a certificate. And basically, he's going to take that certificate and he's going to do commerce. He's going to file that with the state, and he's going to make money. This union that where you're getting a certificate for marriage, basically you are signing over this union to the state. What does it mean? You're registering it. Anytime you register something, you are given over control of that item to the state. When you register your car, when you register your house, when you register your child, when you register your business, and even your marriage, you are turning that over to the state. You're saying, okay, now the state is saying, okay, we're going to let you have control over it, but we own it. You're turning over ownership to it. And anytime we want to step in and do something with it, you're giving us that right. You have signed away your rights to it. And that is the same thing with your marriage. And so anytime you are giving or registering something, basically what you are doing is they're going to create a bond. Anything that goes to the state is going to become a commodity. And they are going to make money with this on the stock market. So, for example, what's happening, and by the way, the stock market is nothing more than a big-ass gambling ring. That's it, nothing more. So when you register something, you're giving over ownership of that, your child, your house, your marriage, whatever, to the state. The state is going to take that, create a bond, put it on the stock market, trade on it. Now, your marriage that you think is between you and your spouse and God, they're going to start betting on this. Now, normally when they have commodities, because it becomes what we call a commodity. Normally with commodities, they're going to bundle it up in a group and they're going to basically start betting on it. So, for example, with your wedding, you probably bundled with all the quote, I don't like this term, but the black people. These are black folks. This is a new black wedding, and they just got married. Who want to bet they ain't gonna last but 5 years? Who want to put money on that? So now you got different people betting. Somehow I bet they won't last for 2 years. I bet they'll last for 3. That's how they're making money off of your godly union. Now, the deal with that, we see gay people marching for the rights to get married. And y'all, I didn't even understand what the hell is wrong with y'all. Y'all want to be miserable with the rest of the heterosexuals. You're not even understanding what's going on. You don't have to have permission from anybody to marry the person whom you love. But you think that the state has to give you permission. I'm here because I want to make sure I present this information to you, and then also present you some remedy and some options outside of that, because you really don't want to be registering your union with the state anyway. Because what you're not understanding is when you register your union and you give over ownership of your union to the state, and you got this preacher up here pretending like he's this godly figure, when really the whole time he's selling your ass out. So forgive me, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm giving you the facts. If he's going to be up in a damn pulpit talking about by the power vested in me from the state of whatever, he's telling you who he works for. So what we're not understanding is that when you give over ownership, everything from this particular deal that you've given over ownership to, everything that is a product of that, meaning your children, becomes owned by the state. And so since the state owns it, if they want to come in and take your children, not only have you registered them with your wedding or your marriage, you registered them when you signed the birth certificate for your child. So you've given over ownership, and then you wonder why DFACS and all these other companies want to come in and take control of your child. Well, you don't own it. That's why. You've given over ownership of that child, or anything that comes from that union. Your house comes from that union. That belongs to the state. So we need to understand what we're doing. Okay, and understand heterosexuals and gay people and whoever else. You don't have to get permission Now let's understand what the remedy is for that. Instead of giving up control of your ownership, one of the things that I talk about when I deal with sovereignty is that people need to understand who they are first. How you doing, Soledad? Hola, Soledad. All right. People are not understanding that you are a human being first and foremost. You are a human being. And as a human being, you stand above these corporations. They don't have authority over you until you give it. Now, again, a state, United States is a corporation. That's a corporation. But really, all of these states, they are corporations. State of Georgia, state of Texas, state of Tennessee, state of whomever, Florida. Those are corporations as well. And they do not have authority over you until you give it. Now, one of the ways that, because people want, listen, and y'all want paperwork on this stuff. That's what you want, okay. But that is not what makes the union, okay? Now, but if you have to have paperwork, you have to have documentation, do it yourself. Understand when you make declarations, you do a declaration with the county. When you make a declaration, then it is on file, it is on record, and it is what you say it is. Okay, because as that human being, you are saying, this is my union with my whomever, your whatever lover, your whomever, and from this union is between, you have a trust. So you can create a simple trust for you and your spouse, or whomever you're joining with. And when you file that with the county, not the state, you file that with the county. And understand what a county is. Those were created supposedly by the Moors, and but that's where everything gets counted. And that's where you want to place things on record. This is my husband, this is my wife, our union belongs to, and you can create a trust. You can put everything that comes from your union in that trust, and that is your trust. And now, do you have to go and get a lawyer to be involved in this? Because see, now that they have, you've registered it, and they running this thing up on the stock market and making money from it, and then y'all get a divorce, and now you want to stop the money train. It's like, damn, okay, you're gonna pay for this. So now you gotta go and get a lawyer to deal with all the paperwork and all the stuff that comes from it. But when you're dealing with that on your own, you don't have to deal with all of the lawyers and the whatever else. All right, so when you're wanting to file with or make this union public or publicly known, then you file that with the county. You file a declaration stating, who the parties are in this union. Everything that comes from this union belongs to this trust, or belongs to us. However you want to say it. It's not as complicated and convoluted as people make it seem. You just need to want to know what the law is. Otherwise, you're going to stay under their jurisdiction, and you're going to keep having them come after your children, or keep having them come after your union, or be up in your life talking about child support. Well, you're the one who put them in your business. Get them out of your business. Learn how to file declarations with the county. Do I have any questions? Janice, thank you for joining me. Do I have any questions? I want y'all to go ahead and ask me questions, but understand, making your own declaration and knowing what the law is with respect to, what's going on with these marriages. Is it really between you and God? It's not if your union is being traded on the stock market. That's a gambling ring. What does that have to do with God? Why do gay people think they need to go and ask permission from some people if they can get married? That's your God-given right, really. They want to tell you about the Bible, say this. You don't say all that. You have the right to marry the same sex if that's what you want to do. Why are you asking for permission? Do it. Now, let's understand this. When you join in that union, what you have the ability to do is to make sure it's known, or in the declaration, it's going to be known that this is your spouse, and that you need to be respected as a member of their family. As a member of their family. And that will be in your declaration. That will be in your trust agreement between you and your spouse. And again, trusts are very simple. Let me go through this because I need to state what a declaration is and what it does and what is the power of it. And then I need to state what a trust is and what it does and what the power of it is. A declaration, once again, is with the county. You are publicly stating. And see, as a human being, when you make a public statement, that is what it is. So you are publicly stating in your document that must be filed. Otherwise, if it's not filed, then it's unlawful. The same way this woman went to prison because she didn't want to file marriage certificates that came from gay couples. So they have to file it. And if they don't, then they can be sued for not filing it. All right. Now, again, the declaration, as a human being, when you make that, you are putting it on record who you are or what you're claiming ownership of. And when you put it on record, it has to be recognized. This is why some states will put it in the paper, you know, when you go down and say you declare your name or your business or whatever it is. They're going to put that on, put it in the paper to make this is a public statement to see if anybody has any objections to it. But once it goes on record, that is what it is. So just, you know, the same way when you declare I am married to such and such, then that is your declaration, and that is what it must be. And all this stuff about what is that? Polygamy is against the law. You know, I'm not, you know, down with polygamy or whatever. But if that's what you want to do, then why the hell you keep trying to do it up under the state? Know who you are, because you are allowing the state to govern your affairs. When you start standing as a sovereign, when you start standing as a human being, when you start standing as the God that you are, then you're not going to allow them to control your personal and private affairs, because they stand underneath you anyway. As a human being, they don't have authority over you, but you keep giving them consent. All right, so now that's what the declaration is. It's basically a statement, just like, okay, the Declaration of Independence, okay? Whereas like we the people say we don't like the Queen of England anymore, you know, they've been doing treacherous things and we want to cut away from them and screw them and we're separate and, you know, we're at war if you want to keep coming at us. Declaration of Independence. That's all it was. It's a public statement of this is what it is going to be. I am this being and I am making this declaration and this statement. How you doing, Tanya? That's what the Declaration of Independence is, and that's the kind of declaration that you make when you're making your statement to the county. Now, when you also have a trust, and let's understand what a trust is. Now, a trust is a set of laws, and you can equate that with the Constitution, the original Constitution for the United States of America. All right, not this BS with all this 15th Amendment, 16th, not that. The original Constitution for the United States of America, and what it dealt with are the rights of this particular state. State meaning body of land, or the people. Let me rephrase that. A trust deals with the people who are underneath that particular company or corporation. So the United States of America had the Constitution for the United States of America, and it dealt with all of the people who were citizens of that particular corporation or government, the United States of America. And so that's what this Constitution was for. It was the laws that governed the people that were underneath that particular trust. That's what the Constitution is. That's what a trust, a Constitution is the Constitution for the United States of America is basically a trust. All right. And that trust is a law. That's all. It's a law. Now, you can create your own law. Understand this. When you understand who you are as a human being, as a sovereign, as a God, then when you create a trust, your trust stands above any other law. And I mean above. Your law is primary when you understand what a trust law is. So what does this mean? Okay, let's say, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a trust. Some people are not gonna like this, that I'm going to tell you all this. But let's say, for an example, when you know how to set up your own trust and you know how to fight for it. And I'm just going to give you like a really out there scenario. But because your house is registered with the state, they're going to come and tell you, oh, you can't burn your trash on your own, they in your property, talking trash about the trash you burning. And so they're doing that because you don't own your house. They own it. But when you own your own home, and I mean you own it, where you've gone through all the steps to put it under your property, and they want to come on, you can burn weed, marijuana right there and grow it on your property. And there won't be anything that they can say, because when you make your declarations and you understand other steps that you need to put in place, but you also create a trust whereby that property is under that trust and is under the laws of your trust. Not the Constitution, not what the state said, not nobody, but your trust. And so when you create that trust, I mean, your trust will have all these things about these are my God-given rights. You don't have the right to come on my property. You don't have the right to say that. And if I want to smoke marijuana right on the front porch, I can smoke marijuana. That's your trust. And when you know how to enforce it, there's nothing that they can say. They can't come on your property talking trash. And that's the same thing you do with your children. That's the same thing you do with your spouse. It's understanding trust and trust law and how powerful a trust is gives you that kind of power and control. Not understanding that is what makes you have to pay for a lawyer when you want to get divorced. Look, can we just get divorced and walk away? Because I don't feel like paying a lawyer. Okay, we're going to file this with the county. And you can have in there, whatever stipulations you want about, oh, if we get divorced, then we're going to split it, whatever. But you don't have to have the state in your affairs. Do I have any questions? I'm just trying to check to see if I have any questions. So again, my questions are for you while we're here, and I'm waiting to see if we have questions. Why are you allowing the state in your private business? Why is the state allowed to take your children from you at will? Because you don't own them. Why do you need to pay a lawyer to break the contract? Because your contract has to do with money on the stock market. And damn it, if you're going to make us stop our money train, you're going to pay. And we'll make you get a lawyer to figure out the paperwork that goes with that. What role does the preacher really play in your marriage? Well, he's a pimp that's turning you over to the state, period, and point blank. And I know, well, some preachers are good and some preachers, if he's performing a marriage and taking a marriage certificate down to the state, he's making money off of your union. He is turning your union into a profitable gambling document. Is he really who he says he is? You answer that. I say no. And gay people, why do you feel the need to wait on the state to give you permission to get married? You don't need permission. What you need to do is know who you are as a human being. All right. So one of the things is never register anything. This is your children, your car. Now, you'll have that birth certificate. That's registration. You turn your child over to the state. And there are ways to deal with that. I go into that in other sessions that I deal with. But basically, yeah, you shouldn't be registering anything, and not your marriage. You don't have to register it. You can make a declaration on it yourself with the county. So don't give over possession of the things you hold dear. If you hold your marriage and your wedding dearly, and you really want it to be a union between you and that person and God, then do your declaration and keep it there. I mean, I know some of y'all, oh, I gotta have a wedding ceremony, and that's fine. You can get a damn dog to sit up there and pronounce you man and wife. Okay, fine. And now y'all are married. All you need to do is take that damn declaration to the county, and it's a done deal. You just need to declare it. You don't need to register it, and you don't need a minister to be paying him to do that. You can have an actor to do that. You know, whatever. You got to have the show to, you know, let everybody know, oh, I'm married to him. Okay, that's fine. But understand, if you're serious about it being between you and him and God, then go to the county and file it yourself. So, and we understand that, you know, when you register something with the county, they're going to create a bond from it. They're going to make money off of it. Anything you register with the state or with the county, they're going to make money off of it, period and point blank. That includes your children, your car, your house, your business, your marriage, and anything else, your driver's license, anything else you register with them, they're going to make money off of it. All right, just make your declaration with the county, enjoy your life, keep the state out of your business, and keep it moving. Diva Loree, anybody have any questions? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Diva Loree, I'm out. Peace.